This week is absolutely insane when it comes to some brand new video game releases on Xbox consoles, and it might even be one of the busiest weeks we've seen in 2025. We have some massive Xbox published games coming our way, alongside so many other incredible AA and indie games that are so highly anticipated. With that though, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive right into the games coming our way for this week. The start of this week sees probably one of the largest releases overall, and we're seeing the return after a massive 13-year hiatus. Ninja Gaiden 4 lands onto Xbox and day one into Xbox Game Pass on the 21st of October, and I know many of you fans out there really can't wait to see what's next within the world of the ninja. This time though, we are taking control of a brand new protagonist called Yakumo as he goes into a twisted Tokyo to face an ancient enemy that's been resurrected. Of course, fan favourite Ryu will return, but it's not yet known how much involvement he will have within this new entry since he is the enemy of Yakumo himself. Even so, this one is actually shaping up to be pretty incredible from what we've seen so far. I've actually been playing this one and I'm in the process of reviewing my experience, so do make sure to subscribe down below and check back on Monday for my thoughts and performance analysis. We have seen a ton of remasters and remakes for this generation, but one surprise that is landing this week is the return of Double Dragon as Double Dragon Revive. Of course, this is a massive update as you can see on screen right now, and it's really bringing back a lot of the old favourites from the golden age of arcades into the 3D modern era. I've never actually partaken personally in Double Dragon, so I'm really not familiar with this franchise at all, but the sentiment online does seem pretty positive with what fans are seeing so far. If you're wanting to dive back into Double Dragon though, it does arrive onto Xbox on the 21st of October. I'm a very big fan of strategy titles, and one game that I did spend a bit of time with last year thanks to Xbox Game Pass was Jurassic World Evolution 2. In some great news though, the third installment in this franchise is actually coming to Xbox this week, and it seems like a lot of people are excited, especially since the devs have decided not to include any AI artwork due to backlash upon its reveal. Even so, the positivity is absolutely flowing, as there seems to be a ton of improvements and updates with the newest entry, and that includes the likes of being able to design your own structures from the very foundations that they do reside on. I also like seeing that they're adding some extra stuff like baby dinosaurs and some new conservation mechanics, as it was always a missing aspect which many of us wanted. I know previews so far look pretty positive, even though they do call it a save the newest entry, but to be honest, I'm perfectly fine with that if they don't mess it up. Painkiller is finally back this week, and this time the chaos is bigger than ever. The cult classic shooter has been reimagined with new brutal arenas, grotesque enemies, and weapons designed for pure carnage, and it's all wrapped up in that signature heavy metal energy. For the first time, you will be able to tear through Purgatory with up to 3 friends in full co-op, or even play offline if you do prefer. The story though will throw you into the role of a fallen champion, tasked by the creator to stop Azazel before his demonic army floods Earth. Along the way, you'll be of course facing relentless hordes, unique enemy types, and that monstrous Nephilim. Early previews though aren't actually painting the most positive of pictures, as it does seem to stray away too much from the original base game. I do hope the developers do kind of have something up their sleeve to make this a great launch for their fans. Game Pass members are getting a lovely new addition this week, and if you haven't played Evil West, then you're in for a real treat. If you're unfamiliar with this one, it kind of launched at a time where AA games weren't all the rage that they are now, and this one is a real hidden gem. You basically play as a sort of gunslinger freelancer who has to hunt down all manner of beasts, monsters, and supernatural beings. The combat is very Xbox 360 era-esque, so dark, gritty, weighty, and so bloody gruesome, but it's also pretty brilliant. This is a return to the Game Pass library as well, and it's one that I do highly recommend, especially if you're looking for a dumb fun time. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is an incredibly long-awaited sequel, and is finally landing this week. After 2 decades of waiting, we actually finally get to have our hands on it. However, it's not looking really positive though in terms of the reviews so far. The original Bloodlines really does hold a legendary cult status though, as it's revealed for its sort of branching narrative derived from player inputs. For years, the sequel kind of did seem like a real pipe dream, but followed by a number of delays and news of the game's developer changing entirely, it's almost upon us. Now, with only mere days to go, the reviews come out, and it's very mixed. The main gripe is that this game looks to take away from what made the original so good, and it feels totally different in terms of its experience. I know we do actually have a couple of fans of this franchise within our own Discord server who are really excited for this one, but I am curious, are you going to be diving into this one, or how do you feel about this change in direction? You'll have to let me know down below. On the 23rd of October, survival horror returns with Tormented Souls 2, and the nightmare has only deepened this time time around. After the horrors of the previous game within the Wilderberg Hospital, Caroline Walker seeks peace with her sister Anna. However, when Anna's terrifying visions begin warping into physical reality, their search for answers leads to the brand new Villa Hesse. This is a chilling mountain town in southern Chile and is looking pretty horrifying. Beyond the smiling faces of its staff lurks something really sinister, so you'll have to explore the different eerie landmarks like a convent, a ruined shopping mall, and even an abandoned school. That's a hell no from me. Of course, you will be able to swap as well between twisted realities, reshape time itself, and battle grotesque monstrosities with different improvised weapons like chainsaws and also nail guns. Like the previous game, you can expect some brutal puzzles here, alongside all of the monstrous bosses and a story filled with so many secrets. Honestly, classic camera fixed angle survival horror games are really back these days, and they're deadlier than we've ever seen before. Out of nowhere, Bounty Star is set to land on Xbox Game Pass day one this week, and honestly, it really is about time. We've heard next to nothing about this game for quite a while now, but now it's finally resurfacing with explosive new details. At its core though, Bounty Star looks to sort of blend third-person mech combat and base building with crafting, sort of like Armored Core in a way. You'll be playing as Clem, a broken but powerful ex-soldier, trying to shed the guilt of her past and fight for something good in the Red Expanse. You can expect stuff like bounty hunting missions where you track down dangerous outlaws. You'll then be able to upgrade your mech and also expand your own home base. The best part is, pre-download is already available right now on Xbox if you want to be prepared prior to its launch date, and I have to say, this could be another Annapurna Interactive hidden gem. Sometimes you just want to kick back with something a little bit more cozy and put on a podcast, and nothing really hits that vibe better than PowerWash Simulator 2. It is officially dropping this week and launching day one onto Xbox Game Pass. The sequel though looks to take everything that we loved from the original game but levels it up even more, with stuff like detailed environments, brand new types of missions, and upgraded equipment that makes blasting away dirt feel even more satisfying. On top of that though, there's a fully customizable home base that you can upgrade as you progress throughout the campaign. I actually got an exclusive early look at this game a couple of months ago, and you can look forward to my review of this brand new experience on or around its launch day, so definitely get excited. Well, this certainly wasn't on my bingo card for 2025, but there's a brand new Chicken Run video game in development, and I'm kind of perplexed as to why this is really even a thing. Like any child in the UK, usually my Christmas was filled with stuff like reruns of old TV shows, the odd film we've seen time and time again, and then we get to experience the downright insanity of Chicken Run. This new game though is called Run Eggstraction, and it's actually been described as an action stealth video game that is of course based on the Chicken Run franchise. It's a top-down heist game that picks up where Aardman's 2023 film, known as Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget, left off. It seems like a pretty cool premise, and it even has the addition of co-op play. To me, this feels like a great and ideal game to pick up and play on the run-up to this holiday season. I love highlighting indie games, especially within these videos of games releasing on these current weeks, and that's due to them not having the budget or the name power like other larger studios. One game that's landing this week, which I can't wait to dive into personally, is called Becastled, and it's a cozy city building game but with tower defense elements. The graphics, as you can see, are very pretty and remind me of a lot of games like Valheim and Fabledom, so it's very cute and also minimalistic. The gameplay also seems to be pretty slick and simple as you build buildings that generate resources, which then go into one sort of pool like old school RTS games. It's got some very great praise over on PC since its initial launch, and if you're a strategy fan like myself, then expect this to be a great addition to your growing backlog this week. The Lonesome Guild is a whimsical action RPG from the studio behind Life is Strange, and it's really set to redefine heart, battles, and bonds in all of gaming. In this immersive adventure, you play as a ghost, a spirit who wakes up with no memories in the troubled world of a tear. To restore hope and vibrant life to this world, you must basically assemble a ragtag party of 6 misfit individuals, each with their own unique backstories and skills for you to master. Your journey though will take you through different ancient ruins that not only hide shiny treasures, but also demand you solve intricate puzzles that reveal the secrets of a lost past. For me, this was always a really intriguing indie that I feel is getting quite overlooked, and honestly, I do believe this could be one massively overlooked gem of 2025. The Fast and Furious IP is really being thrown about everywhere these days, and it basically seems like any game that comes out is a sole cash grab. Well, kind of sticking to that moniker is the release of Fast and Furious Arcade Edition, and I have to say, it's looking pretty rough and it's probably one to skip for this week. Honestly, the more that I look at this one, the worse it really gets. It's basically just an arcade racer with the Fast and Furious tag slapped onto it for essentially no reason. The different racer names within the game aren't even characters from the film, so you know what kind of experience this is going to be. I never have any hope these days for any sort of game mill games, but I always try to look positively, but unfortunately I just can't recommend this one. The KATAMARI Damacy series is one of gaming's greatest joys, and it's so great to see it make a grand return with a brand new entry, Once Upon a Katamari. Unlike the remasters that we've seen being released in the last few years, Once Upon a Katamari is an all-new game, as you can see in the trailer on screen right now. In this game though, you'll need to roll up objects like previous games to form stars, yet only this time you'll be travelling through some different eras. Special items can also be employed to help you complete your missions, like a magnet that attracts nearby objects and a timer that freezes things in place. It looks absolutely brilliant, and I'm certainly a sucker for Katamari games. If you're like me and want some weird and wacky times, then this game launches on the 24th of October, and it will be available both physically and also digitally. After all of the disastrous and microtransaction-filled Plants vs. Zombie games that we've seen over the recent years, it seems like EA are actually learning their lesson. Weirdly, they're re-releasing the first Plants vs. Zombies game, now aptly named Plants vs. Zombies Replanted, and it's coming out with no sort of monetization. Yes, that's right, we're getting EA releasing a game of Plants vs. Zombies without stupid monetization before GTA 6. Of course, I don't really need to go through what this game entails, except that it's an updated version of the original with better visuals, overhaul in some gameplay areas for balancing, and a few bits of extra content. If you are interested in diving into this original entry, it's got a fairly decent price point and it lands this week. I covered this next game the other day, and the House of the Dead 2 remake is landing onto Xbox this week after being on Nintendo Switch and PC a few months ago now. It hits the current and last generation Xbox systems, so you'll be able to snap it up just in time for Halloween. A word of caution though, this remake didn't go down particularly well with players over on Switch and PC already, with the main criticism actually being towards the game's renewed graphics along with its controller-based controls. It's also worth noting that this game did come out from the same company that remade the first House of the Dead, and that also didn't review too well at all at the time of its launch. Do certainly be cautious with this one, and make sure to check out some reviews before diving or picking it up. The first Outer Worlds was a game that I absolutely fell in love with, and I always wished that it was a longer experience. That's why I was extremely excited when we had the announcement of the Outer Worlds 2, and it's not long now until we finally get our hands on it. The full release date isn't until the 29th of October, however, if you do have the Premium Edition or the upgrade via Xbox Game Pass, then you can start playing it on the 24th of October. The gameplay we've seen so far still looks to bring us the fantastic world design alongside choices that Obsidian are known for, but this time the team have looked to massively overhaul and improve the first-person shooting elements. This one is looking utterly fantastic, and I'm hopeful it may be another hit from Obsidian Entertainment. I will actually have my review out just before the early access, so make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on the review and the performance videos coming to you very, very soon. Zoochosis has just announced as of yesterday that it's arriving onto Xbox this week. If you're a horror fan, this is going to be another one to add to that massive backlog, as it's actually looking pretty decent. It is said to be a spine-chilling body cam horror simulation game, that's a hell no from me, where you play as a zookeeper about to start their first night shift. As you start, you essentially notice a terrifying parasite is spreading and is mutating the animals into grotesque versions of themselves, and you must do anything by any means just to survive. It looks absolutely brilliant for horror fans, and it does arrive just before Halloween. Again, it's going to be a hell no from me, but I really hope all of you horror fans really enjoy it. What game are you excited to play this week? Are you excited for Ninja Gaiden 4 or The Outer Worlds 2? You'll have to let me know down below. Whilst down there though as well, do smash that like button, as it really helps push these videos to the YouTube algorithm and finds more Xbox gamers such as yourselves. Do also subscribe, as we've now hit 75,000 subscribers and we're getting ever so much closer to 100,000 by the end of this year. Whilst you're here though, and if you do want to check out some more awesome Xbox content, why don't you check out my review on screen now? I recently got hands-on with Keeper, and I tell you what, it's one Double Fine game you certainly won't want to miss.